Hello friends, I am back with the Storytime readings and I'm reading for Aries energy today. Now I've got a couple of different, it feels like different characters coming through, different Aries characters, so take what resonates, leave what doesn't. One is coming through extremely strongly. I've got that Emperor back and yeah, they are a very dominant energy. So yeah, we'll see what we get. It's very different as well to, there's been a change in Aries' energy because, and maybe there's been some kind of change in yourself because the old Aries readings that I used to get felt like a very different energy than this energy that's coming through. So it feels like a different person, a different set of people, a different group. So just be aware of that. This set of readings, they're going to kind of be up as and when they're up. I'm not going to commit to having like Aries on one day, then Taurus on Tuesday. If I can do that, I will do, but I'm not going to commit to that. Story time, I'm just going to do as and when I can, and then we'll be back with a full set of readings. So what do we have here? Oh, I need to say as well, the video quality may change. You may notice a change in this screen because I'm recording on one phone and it's got a low battery. So I'm going to have to change like phones at some point. I don't want to kind of record on my new phone for an extended period of time. It's a thing. Aries, I'm excited to do your reading because again, this energy that's coming through very, very strong, very, very dominant. Now, before I get to that though, there could be messages for, feels like more Aries, like general Aries energy about learning lessons from the past. I'm seeing a lot of like elephant energy and hierophant energy, which is like, it could talk about ancestral things, like, if you're repeating ancestral patterns of behavior or you're doing the things that your parents did and kind of like either following their footsteps in a good way or a bad way, you're kind of learning from that. I was getting things like, I was getting the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, so some sort of offer being made. And also a lot of songs about like Rockstar by Post Malone and American Teen by Khalid. So a lot of songs about partying and partying in quite a destructive way, right? Overdoing it, which again, you have something around here, overflow, overwhelm and plenty. And you've also got feast of plenty, right? Choices and their consequences. So people who are partying too hard, enjoying it, and it's like it could be a phase you went through as a teenager where you were like, I'm a rock star, I'm going to be the next hot thing, and dating lots of people and jumping in pools like with no top on. And I don't know what people get up to, but it's because in that song he says, "My youth is the foundation of me." So Aries, you are the Fool and you are the Emperor in the tarot. Now, the beautiful thing here is like the Fool is like the person making the mistakes, right? The person trying things, the person exploring and figuring things out and having a lot of fun. And it's normally kind of fated, right? He's following his destiny. He has faith that things will work out. So I'm saying he, she, they, but it's coming through masculine. So just be aware that we all carry feminine and masculine energy within us. Aries energy is Mars, so however you identify, Aries energy is Mars energy. It's a masculine sign, so it comes through very masculine. So just be aware of that. You don't have to be a man, right? If I say he, you can just change it as you need to. But the way it's presenting is very, very, very typically, like very traditionally masculine, especially that Emperor energy. Again, I'm going to come back to that. So this thing about like partying too much, but learning from that because it's coming through this kind of like ancestral energy of like the elephant and the hierophant, like that kind of grandparent energy. So I don't know if this is like an older Aries who's learned from the mistakes of the past, right? Because you figure yourself out. I always say you don't get to be the King of Wands if you've not been the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is like impulsive, they make mistakes, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But the King of Wands, they know what they want, right? They don't want to make the mistakes, or like they know what excites them, so that it's more of a like curated taste, a curated person, where yes, you can still go out and have fun, but you're going to do it in a more controlled way. Because what came out was this Nine of Cups card from the I don't know if you know the Nine of Cups in the steampunk tarot, but it's a bartender and she's got like 9 drinks lined up and she's like, yay, come and pick a drink. So there's this thing about something being offered with the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles, but it's like I don't know if there's something in the cup. So it's like again, partying and maybe dabbling in some things beyond alcohol, right? But it's like learning from this. So I don't know if somebody's had an experience where they've been out on a night out, taken something, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, and then like had a car accident or something like that, lost control of the car because the chariot came out kind of sideways. So now with this Nine of Cups, with these cups that are on offer, it's like being aware of the consequences, being aware of the choices and their consequences. So instead of just coming out with the Nine of Cups and the Fool, it had Temperance in the middle, which is an amazing, amazing thing to see. I don't know if I've ever seen it like that before, because it's like, yes, you can still be the fool. Yes, you can still go out and have fun. Yes, you can still go out and kind of party, but you're doing it with a sense of putting your seatbelt on, right? You're doing it with a sense of, with Temperance, it's like with self-control. With moderation. Like, yes, there's 9 drinks on offer. Maybe I'm going to be a bit more choosy about which one I take and who I take it off. So I like that energy. It does feel like, because that's what an emperor's like, right? You don't get to be the emperor if you've not been through that trial and error phase, if you've not kind of explored your options and decided which ones are for you and which ones are not. Like, if you know the consequences to the choices that are on offer, that's when you become the emperor. Does that make any sense? So it's like a more refined taste. Okay, now we're going to get into the intuitive messages, and oh my goodness, I cannot explain how strongly this energy comes through. So if you remember me talking about this kind of a couple of weeks back when I was having trouble doing the readings, and I was doing a few readings that didn't have star signs attached, or they kind of had, I don't know, there were just these random readings that were coming through, and every reading was getting really dominated by this energy, and it's back again in this Aries reading. So it must be somebody with Aries placements, or I don't know, it just comes through and completely dominates everything. So, and again, aggression warning. So it's coming through aggressive because it's coming through with that true Mars energy, right? And I'm hearing it again, my original note. So I heard knock the block off. So it's like, I'm going to knock their block off. You know, I don't know if everybody knows that phase. It's I'm going to punch them. So obviously don't punch people. It could be somebody that you're dealing with, but it's aggressive, right? But very firm with it, very sure of itself, right? It probably knows, I'm saying it probably knows that it can, right? So it's coming through with quite militant. So I don't know if this is somebody who's been in the army, or it's just because I'm really tapping into that true Mars energy. I'm saying Mars because Aries is ruled by Mars, right? It's the god of war. I saw a black dot, which is a code with my readings of with my guides of a mischief maker, right? It's like a trouble causer, a mischief maker. So this could be why somebody's having that response of, I'm going to knock the block off, because they're causing mischief. My teeth hurt on the left side, so I do feel like, again, this could be something that happened in the past, but it's like somebody's had a punch on the left side of the face. Don't fight. Okay, there's better ways to solve your problems, but I'm just channeling and telling you what I'm channeling. I could see like, oh, it looked kind of like a lotus flower, but it was kind of going back in on itself. So it's doing this kind of movement. I was getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 throughout the entire, like on and off throughout the entire channeling session. So again, it kind of feels militant, right? Or it could be dancing, like, or self-control, you know, like when people count to 10, but it's counting to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Could be music, rhythm. I was kind of getting music stuff through dreams last night, like being on Spotify, and I was playing, you know, when you hear a song, you look it up. So I heard this song in this dream. I can't remember the song. And I looked it up, and it was like, there was about 6 songs on this album. And the album was from some sort of, it was like covers of songs, or songs from like a computer game. It was something like Life is Strange. But I think the album cover was called Smile, a bit like Katy Perry, but it wasn't that. And it was like a very, again, like this kind of curated track. So I don't know if that's something for somebody. So I had this sensation of being on a roller coaster. You know, that feeling of like being propelled forward in some sort of way, which is interesting because the attraction card then came out. So it could be that somebody's going to some sort of attraction. There could be roller coasters there. And then I had this vision. So I had the feeling of being on a roller coaster, but then I had this vision of like, you know, like the safety bars coming down. So to me, it was like, you can go out and have fun, right? You can go out and have fun, but wear your seatbelt, or, you know, you can go out and have fun because spirit is protecting you. So as long as you're moderate, as long as you've learned the lessons from the past, don't feel like you can't go out and have fun, because the Four of Cups here is like a missed opportunity. So I feel like there's an opportunity that's been missed in the past and it's coming back around. That's kind of what this is telling me here. So if you feel like you're on a roller coaster, if you feel like life has gone crazy, life is a roller coaster, like the message from spirit is you are safe. Enjoy the experience. Somebody could have dyslexia. My writing started to get, my letters were getting mixed up at that point. Crow, beep, battles, crow. Bottles, sorry. Crow, beep, bottles, crow. I don't know what that means, but it's for somebody. Also, I heard a very strange bird that, I get a lot of birds around my house, and then early this morning I could hear this bird and I was like, I don't recognize that bird sound. Definitely could be something about hearing things, like hearing sounds, or code words and not recognizing something. I'll come back to that again. Troops marching in Amiens, is it called, in France? Armand and Amiens in France. So obviously that is a reference to the World Wars. But you can see, like, see and hear the boots marching again with that 1 2 3 4 5 6. Something about my right ear. I wish I could show you the gesture that I'm making. So if you cup your hand like this and put it behind your right ear, and then kind of move it very quickly like that behind your right ear, like 1 2 3, like, and it kind of, if you do it, it kind of makes like a whooshing sound by your right ear. So I was doing this and I was asking spirit, what is this? What is this? And it was like, and they were telling me signal. So it did remind me, I've just watched Predator as well. It does remind me of, like, you know, people in the military, they have those code words, they have those symbols. So it's like move to the right or something. I don't know. I'm not in the military. I don't know these things. But what was really interesting was this card then came out and it was like, yes, that's how I feel. I feel like something's, like, something about, like, the right ear, right? It's like, I don't know, maybe your spirit said, because my guides, they, when I sense them around me, they tend to, I feel them in different places, right? So it's kind of like how I know who people are, because, or energies are, because of how they come in. So my main guide or guides, they always come in through the right, around my right ear. So it's like, Wales as well talked to me about these old energies, right? These old ancient sources of wisdom, and that's kind of what they mean symbolically for me. So it's like ancestors coming down, whispering to you, like literally when I go to sleep, and I start to channel, if I'm lay on my right side, like the entire right side of my head can feel like it's opening up. So it's like, pay attention if you're hearing these, you know, if you feel like there's something by your right ear, it could actually be your guides coming in to talk to you and whisper to you. Orcas could mean something. This energy, this Emperor energy, don't waste my time, very efficient. So these are all things that I'm hearing. Don't waste my time. Are we ready? Let's go. We're back in business. This is it. Here it comes. Oh my goodness. I was like, what is happening? So somebody's ready. This is it, right? It gave me Kylie Minogue. This is it. All this time my love is the real thing. I can't explain what I'm feeling. Sorry, I'll try not to sing it, just get into it. I know I can't sing. And then I was hearing this Emperor, they don't like somebody, right? Again, it's like, I'm going to knock his block off. No, I don't like you. So it gave me Taylor Swift. I got smarter, I got harder in the nick of time. Almost missed an opportunity. Sentiment, go slowly. I don't know. So this thing about a missed opportunity coming back around is up here, and I'll kind of go into that in a minute. Permission to be weird, sir. No, I don't like you. So you're not for everyone here. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. Where are we? I'm seeing them. I heard. So this is all stuff I'm hearing. Like I say, I can connect quite easily now to the different energies, but this was like, this was ready to talk. This came in strong, and it changed my. I'm still me. I don't feel like I'm getting possessed or anything like that. You know, like nothing creepy, but the ways my guides sometimes communicate with me is it's almost playing a role, right? It's almost like putting on that character. So I became very brusque. And like somebody came into the room to talk to me, and I was like, I've not got time for you. You know, really like that. I was like, whoa, this is like so different to my usual energy, like very Aries and not very Libra. But very comfortable as well. I was like, it was an energy that I liked. It was very self-assured, very efficient, very practical, like you would expect from like an army general or something, right? A good army general, somebody who knows the stuff. So right up here, so the messages that came through when I got the cards, it's coming back around. It's what you wanted, and then I crossed out wanted and wrote needed. Right? It's what you needed. This is what it looks like. Right? Okay. So it's coming back around. So this Four of Water, Four of Cups, is some sort of offer, right? The fourth cup is always it's like the Ace of Cups. It's an opportunity, something that's coming back around. The universe is bringing it to you, and it's for you. You should pay attention to it. But normally in the Three of Cups, people are paying attention to the other three cups, and the other three cups are like inferior offers or things that have disappointed them. So because they're disillusioned with the three cups that have disappointed them, they don't look at the fourth cup. So I feel like it's like this, right? Can you see how she's offering this feast of plenty? It's like, this feast is for you. Are you going to take it? But it's almost like, because you've been disappointed by the three cups in the past, you don't take this one. So it's like opting out. Like, I know the consequences of this choice, right? If I make this choice, if I take this offer, there's going to be consequences. So the Two of Swords are telling me you kind of block this choice. Now, I don't know. I feel like this choice was a person, just because the other cards that are on the table. Oh my goodness, what battery am I on? Sorry guys, 5%. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to switch phones. I'm sorry. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, as I'm starting this, is 11:10. And with that, I'm hearing it's almost time. So I'm actually hearing, as I'm kind of connecting my phone and uploading that first section of the reading, I was hearing repeatedly, this is not an offer you say no to. I'm going to come back to that because that's not the first time this message has come through here. This is not an offer that you say no to, right? This is everything, not everything you wanted, everything you needed. This feast of plenty, this offer is what you need, right? this energy. So I feel like somebody felt rejected. So when somebody missed this opportunity the first time around, it left somebody feeling disowned. The disowned self, root girl, you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness, face your true north. So it's like, don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to, if you're inauthentic, if you're not being yourself, then people aren't rejecting you, they're rejecting the mask, right? Because people can tell when people aren't being authentic. You know, it sends alarm bells off, it doesn't resonate. So what's really funny is this message was coming through kind of around Pisces' reading. And I remember talking about it kind of at length, this thing about people in relationships, and it is a Pisces placement thing. Not all the time, depends on your full chart, but what you can find in Pisces relationships is that they so desperately want to please the other person. They don't so desperately want to be what that other person wants that they will change their entire. Libra can do this as well. Like, they'll change their entire personality to please the partner. So if you watch, right. So I had this whole message in Pisces' reading, and then last night, which I'm recording this on Monday, the day that it's going to go up. So last night, on Sunday night, I noticed that a video on YouTube by The Take had gone up, and it had gone up the previous day. So the day that I'd put up the Pisces reading where I'm talking about this, you know, bending to be what the other person wants, and it being something not authentic, right? The Take had put up a video about a girl in Euphoria called Cassie who had done this exact thing. So if you want to go and watch that, The Take, just a video about Euphoria and Cassie, and how she is just trying to be what she thinks this guy wants her to be. It's not authentic, and it's what people do when they don't know who they are, when they're not, you know, when they're not in that energy of like, you're not for everybody. Embrace your weirdness, be your true self, even if it means people will reject you, because then the people who really truly like you for who you are can find you. So this is a lesson that somebody's been learning with this root girl and the disowned self. But I feel like they've grown, possibly through some kind of, with the sisterhood of the rose, beauty, devotion, mystic, priest, mystic teacher, and with it coming out next to this high priestess card, right? And it's just to show you, I've got 11 decks that I'm using for these spreads, and I've combined. So if I show you here, I've combined several decks into one massive deck. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these like mega decks. This one has 3 decks in it. So a total of 11 decks that I'm using here. So my guides have a huge amount of choice to get these messages out. And this is how they've chosen to put these cards with the high priestess and the sisterhood of the rose together. And just look at these, right? It's like, this is what's being offered here. Are you going to join this priesthood? Priestesshood? Are you going to accept the offer from this? It's like the divine feminine, right? It's like this high priestess who's connected to her femininity. It's almost like the opposite, the counterpart of that Mars energy, because you've got Garden of Venus up here. It's like the opposite of Mars is, well, the opposite of Aries is Libra, and Libra is ruled by Venus. So, and that kind of extremely feminine energy of Venus. If you think about men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So we're not necessarily talking about those signs, but that energy of like very traditional masculine energy and very traditional feminine energy. But this kind of like sisterhood of feminine energy, like this priestess-ship of feminine energy. So it's like almost like being adopted into some kind of supportive feminine group that teaches you how to be this, right? It's like they take this and turn it into this, which is incredibly powerful. It's like teaching you your own magic, teaching you your truth, something like that, or finding this high priestess within the root girl, you know. It's like growing up into something incredibly powerful. I would say that the high priestess is more powerful than the emperor, right? If you think about it that way, it's like because they're spiritually connected. The emperor is of the earth, right? The emperor and empress of the earth, grounded in this reality. The high priestess, it's a more spiritual, it's more connected, it's beyond the earth. So incredibly powerful. So it's like, this seems to be the offer to, I want to say the emperor, right? The emperor stood on the beach, didn't get on the ship the first time, but here it comes again. If you think about the golden ship reading of Pisces, it's like, here that ship comes again. It actually does look quite similar to the ship that I saw in the meditation. It was a big gold ship with a high bow, but it was just, I think, one big white flag on that, in that meditation that I had. So it's like, here it comes again, here comes the golden ship again. Are you getting on it this time? And look at him with his little bag of all these different pearls. And then it's like, with this card, this is where I heard, it's not, it could be I'm reading for a woman, but it just felt like I was reading for the emperor. This Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. It's like, if you imagine somebody who's been a soldier, or they've been, especially like in, I don't know, like olden times, you know, like years and years ago, if this is like a story of an ancestor or something, it's like, if you've been in a very, very masculine environment, like a war zone, or, you know, a very harsh environment, and it could even just be like the way you've been raised. If you've been raised in a harsh, kind of almost loveless environment, it's like what you would be craving would be this almost like garden of feminine energy, right? This nature's garden. It's very relaxing. It says rest and renewal. It's a place where you can rest. It's a place where you can be renewed. It's a place where you can be nurtured, because it's also followed by this Queen of Water. So the Cancer energy, Scorpio energy, it's that kind of gorgeous, it's coming through here with you see here, it's like extremes, right? This Mars energy, like being in a hot, uncomfortable place. It's a bit sexy as well though, right? It's like, this could be it could be an emperor, a kind of warrior character, coming home to somebody that loves them and can soothe them like a cold glass of water on a hot day. You know, it's like, this is because look at how watery it is, the high priestess and queen of water. It's like the glass, the cold icy glass, you know, not what this person, it may be what this person wanted, but it's what they needed, right? It's like it will soothe them, is the way it's coming through. So it's just like this Venus, Queen of Water, High Priestess, Sisterhood of the Rose energy is so, so beautiful. It's like so gentle and so healing and so restorative. So, yeah, so I was hearing it's not what you, let me just check my notes. It's not what you wanted, it's what you needed. And then I was looking at this card and looking at the cold glass of water and thinking, it looks like people hooking up, right? It looks like a really hot, sexy time. And the cold glass of water, it's like, people say, oh, she's like a cold glass of water, is like, you know, she's relief in some sort of way, you know, like she's attractive because we've got attraction here, supermoon attraction. And I heard this is what it looks like. So they are a cold glass of water, but then the dyslexia came back. And I'm not making light of that, by the way. My dad has dyslexia. I've worked with children with dyslexia. But when I'm channeling sometimes, it's like the energy of what I'm channeling can come through me. So even though I normally write perfectly, like, as you would expect from an average human being, you know, like sometimes as I'm writing, I can't write properly. It's like I take on that trait, right? And it's like all my letters come out back to front, and it's very frustrating for me. So I can understand how frustrating it must be for people with dyslexia trying to write, and it, you know, the letters getting jumbled up and things like that. So, but the letters got jumbled up here in a way where instead of writing they're a cold glass of water, I was writing they're a gold class of water. They're a gold class of water. So I don't like placing value upon people. I don't like those terms. It's a high value person, it's a low value person, but it is like, this is a very high vibrational person coming in. Whoever this cold glass of water is, very, very high vibrational. Like, you should respect them. Don't treat them like a groupie or anything. They are not that. They are powerful. So this attraction, very, very strong attraction to this energy, because it's what you need. It's not what you want, it's what you need, and the universe knows what you need. So if you are the emperor watching this and you're feeling an incredibly strong attraction to somebody who represents this like priestess of Venus energy, then it's because the universe wants to deliver this to you. However, it could feel very overwhelming, especially if you've not had it for a long time. Again, it could be you've not had that in your environment, right? So it's like it's overwhelming. It's too much all at once because the attraction is so strong. Overwhelming plenty. But again, and I want to say there could be something about like the consequences, you know, like if you've been in similar situations in the past, you know, there could have been bad consequences. But it's like, this is, it's coming through as what you need, because it's almost like maybe it's purging things, right? Maybe it's bringing things up that you've not been able to release for a long time. If you think about, it came through with Scorpio energy quite a lot. A while back, a kind of masculine Scorpio energy of somebody who bottles things up. So I just saw 1122 on the timestamp. It won't say it on yours because remember I've switched phones, but yeah, 1122. So watch out for repeating number patterns. Basically, this is 44 as well. So it's like like damning your emotions, right? I'm in an environment. I'm in an action scene, right? I'm in a military environment. I'm in a masculine dominated place where, you know, we've got things to do. I don't have time to sit down and cry about it. I've just got to get up and get the job done. So it could be this kind of very Mars-like environment that somebody's been in, and it's not necessarily bad. It's kind of coming through as necessary at the time. But it wasn't a time and place to be feeling all those feelings or crying or purging. So I have been picking up on PTSD. I can maybe come back to that in a minute. But it's like this, because this is coming through with fear. It's like fear of opening the floodgates, right? Fear of finally unblocking those emotions and you know, it all coming out at once kind of thing, is the way it's coming through. So it's almost like, because of this fear of being overwhelmed by what is meant for you, because it's what has been missing for so long, it's coming through with this thing of preferring solitude perhaps. But it's coming through, and again, don't miss this opportunity twice, because I feel like it's something that's coming back around. So don't let your fear keep you in solitude when the universe knows that what you need is that cold glass of water, which is represented by this Venus High Priestess energy. Because what it's going to do for you, with this fool's embrace, and remember, you're the fool, right? Not that you're foolish, but you are the fool in the tarot. You have to be the fool to make the mistakes which give you experience. It's coming through as transmuting pain, right? So I didn't do a reading that, a lot of information came through that would have been a reading for Sunday, but I'd done so many readings and I needed a break. But it was talking about, so I don't know if this means anything to anyone. They gave me Superman and the Crystal Cave, which is the Fortress of Solitude. If you remember those old Superman movies, he goes into the Fortress of Solitude. So again, we've got solitude, fool's embrace, transmuting pain. It could be talking about people who are working with crystals. It's sort of talking to me about alternative methods of healing. I'm going to try and give you this. I was talking about it in work yesterday and it was like half an hour, so I'm going to try and give it you kind of like the Cliff Notes version. So through various things that I've been watching and researching, like literal scientific research papers on this, the default state of the brain is actually, because they gave me alternative consciousness. So alternative consciousness is when you sit there and you're daydreaming, or you fall asleep and your mind starts to have a vivid imagination, or when you take certain substances and it gives you that kind of out-of-body experience. You can also achieve this through sex, if you're having kind of tantric sex. You can also have it through meditation. So anything that gets you purposefully, so it's not talking about things like dissociative disorders, right? But it's talking about anything that temporarily and intentionally gets you into that state of imagination, right? That subconscious space where anything's possible. So in my research, at 1:30 in the morning when they gave me this information and I started to research it, in these papers, what they're actually discovering is that is the default state of the brain. Like the fact that when you are at rest, when you're not doing anything at all, you start to daydream. That's the default state of your brain. That's the natural state of the brain. So not to be in this conscious 3D reality, but actually to be in that daydream space, right, in the astral realm, is where we're supposed to be. So they're thinking now that the 3D world is actually a distraction from the natural state of the brain. So the more that you stress, the more that you worry, the more that you're busy, you have things to do, the more the real world distracts you, the more and more you're being pulled from the natural state of the brain, which is why we experience stress, right? Like just thinking how to explain this. So the altered consciousness is actually the reality, and this is actually the altered consciousness because this is not the actual real state. So hold that concept in your brain for a minute, and it's okay if you're not agreeing with it. Just try and understand the argument of this conversation. You don't have to agree, right? You just have to, I'm just asking that you follow it. So I was also watching this stuff about this clinician who had been working for 50 years. He was born in the 50s. So he was looking at alternative sources of therapy for people with things like anxiety disorders and post-traumatic stress disorders. And he was finding things like, because he didn't want to just keep giving people drugs, right? And kind of like putting a plaster on the wound. He wanted to actually take people back to that space where they experience the trauma so that they can revisit it and address it and kind of rewire the brain and the thinking process around it so it's no longer a trigger and it's no longer negatively impacting them in the present day. So he was talking about things like drama, so role playing, acting things out, acting out putting yourself in that scene but acting it out in different ways, and all this kind of stuff. And he was also looking at meditation and talking therapy and, you know, hypnotherapy and things like this. And he said one day these people came up to him, these researchers, and said, we're researching things like psilocybin, LSD. We want your feedback on that. And he said, don't do it. It will ruin your careers. It's illegal. You know, it's going to damage your reputation. But they went ahead and they got permission to do it anyway. And what they're actually finding, and there's various studies of this at the moment, is that in a healthy clinical environment with trained professionals, they can actually use these substances, because what they do is they disconnect you from your actual physical body. And when you're in that like adaptive consciousness, when you're in those daydream states through meditation or whatever it is, when you're in that state, it's actually quite a peaceful state. Again, it's your brain's resting state, your brain's default state. So to get you into that relaxed state, it actually almost disassociates you from your body, right? If you think about where you go when you're daydreaming, you're not physically there. VR as well, which I'm going to come back to, can also do this. So you go on almost like astral adventures, right, in this daydreaming process, in whatever state you chose to get there. So with this disassociation from your body, what they're actually finding is that using substances, or, you know, different ways of doing it, if you can get people into this default state of the brain where they're peaceful and relaxed and disconnected, right, they're seeing themselves from third person. So what they can do is then they can do the regression that takes them back into that place, and without them feeling like it's happening, right? Without them feeling like it's like they're back in that moment. They're looking at it from a disconnected place. So they're looking at it objectively, rather than it like bringing in that sense of overwhelm and panic, because, you know, it's I don't know, it's just clever. So where am I going with this? So I'm just going to pause and just get back on track. Hold on. Okay, yeah. So going back to that place and seeing it objectively, and seeing it almost like the observer, in the role of the observer, you can actually retrain their thinking, like rewire their brain around that traumatic event, so that they can release it, right? So that they can uncork it, so they can unbottle it and move past it. This transmuting pain, right? And it no longer causing this fear. So it's incredibly powerful, this natural ability of the brain to be in this dreamlike state, right? It's why sleep's important, because it's how your brain processes things. It's why we dream, so that your brain can process stuff. And if you're not giving yourself the time and the space to reach that meditative or restful place, you're going to keep carrying that trauma around. So again, exactly like a lot of this stuff happens to soldiers, because they're sleep deprived, right? And they're so busy, and they're in that constant stress state, so they don't have time to process those traumatic experiences. They just have to put them on a shelf and keep going. So years and years later, it can come back up in a very destructive way. So it's saying to you, and it could be, as I say, one of the ways of doing this is through sex. If you Google it, alternative consciousness, you know, a lot of different ways: VR, meditation, substances, and sex can do this as well, especially tantric sex. And this is how this looks to me, right? With the cool glass of water, it's like the Garden of Venus. It's like, this is a healing energy for you. To be in contact with this energy is transmuting the pain. It's not what you want, it's what you need. I feel like there's some resistance to it, which is why you missed it the first time around. So I want to say, go with it. It's like your spirit team is there whispering in your ear, this is what you need to do. Noise outside, I'm sorry guys if that's annoying for you. And it comes through, I want to say, it's something to do with abandonment, right? Something to do with not feeling accepted, and then finding, again, you could be a feminine who's gone through this feeling of being rejected or disowned, disowning yourself, right? Disassociating from who you truly are, because it's being who you were caused you to be rejected and caused you pain. But then it's like finding acceptance in this really gorgeous feminine energy, whatever this is, which is, again, Pisces have this as well. It's like, if you're attracted to this, that is telling you something. There's a reason why you're attracted to this. It's because it's what you need, right? So embrace it. Allow yourself to be embraced by this energy. Allow the things that you've been avoiding to flow through you. Release the fear, and yeah, it's all good. It's all good, baby. So let me just check my notes and see if there's anything there that I've missed. Yeah, Fool's Embrace, it's what you needed, right? The song that came through, so I asked for a song for this reading, you got Sugababes. So I don't know if somebody, again, it could be like a sugar baby, you know, sugar daddy kind of situation. I don't know. Obviously, everybody needs to be the right age and legal, but beyond that, you know, whatever you need, right? And it's what you need. So Overload by Sugababes. Train comes, I don't know its destination, it's a one-way ticket to a madman situation. It's like, I can't say no. So this thing about I can't say no, this energy, the kind of Mars energy is coming through as actually quite powerful and overwhelming. It's like you don't say no to this energy, but likewise you don't say no to the High Priestess. If the universe brings you High Priestess energy, Garden of Venus energy, rest and renewal, what you need, you don't say no, right? I mean, you can do what you want, you've got autonomy, whatevs, but yeah, he's more powerful than me. Now it does feel a little bit, if warning bells are going, if red flags are going, pay attention to those. It could be the fear talking, but I would say that the Emperor energy, the High Priestess is a match for them, right? They are not less than, they are not a groupie, they are not, because that groupie, they say she's just another groupie. I say she's anything but, you know that song. Sometimes their reputations outlive their applications. The High Priestess is not less than the Emperor. She's actually more powerful than the Emperor, I would say, especially with that Sisterhood of the Rose at her back. So I don't know, make what you will out of that reading. Very, very powerful energy coming through. It feels like this is coming through with extremely good energy. Again, it's like if you're being offered this High Priestess energy, again, make sure everything's legal. And it's true High Priestess energy, like, right, it's high vibrational, it's healing. This could be somebody who does Reiki. It could be somebody who is a spiritual healer, right? If this is coming to you and you are powerfully attracted to it, it's for you. It's to heal something. It's to transmute the pain. But it is coming through with some like old fear, you know, some old fear of choices and the consequences, maybe getting rejected and getting like fear of getting rejected again. That alarm is so annoying. Oh, so to finish off that story as well about the benefit of being in that altered consciousness state, which is actually the default state of the brain, the state we are naturally supposed to be in. And the importance of being in that state and processing the pain. With going back to Superman and the Crystal Cave and this idea of crystals. Now, I just kept on getting drawn to crystals, so I ended up going down a rabbit hole with that as well. And I recognised, as I was Googling stuff on my screen, that my screen is actually made of crystals. LED screens, right, are made of crystals. Because they were giving me VR as well. So I want to say that we will probably see in technology, if you think about how many wellness apps there are, right, how many meditation, like things like Mind, meditation sounds on Spotify, I feel like there's a big opportunity and a big market in VR to have wellness apps in VR, because naturally when you do VR, it ticks all the boxes, right? It gives you that separation from your like the separation from your body. It puts you into the role of the observer. It lets you role play, so it's ticking all the boxes, right? Gets you to disassociate, which is what you need to go back and in a safe space to explore those things, and in a way that doesn't trigger you, because you're not like in that, I don't know. So it disassociates you from your body. It gives you the option to role play. If you think about role play games, right? It's using crystals. Crystals are, for millions of years, well, maybe not millions of years, for thousands of years have been used to heal, right? And like if you think about Reiki and things like this, it's a big market, it's a big opportunity. So I feel like the money is there. The wellness, like if you look at the money that can be made in wellness apps, there's a big market there for that, because everybody's stressed, right? House prices are going up, food prices are going up, bills are going up. We're all stressed, we're all working really hard. So to have something like VR, which so many people have now, and to be able to put wellness apps on there, I feel like it's going to be a big market. It's just, there's a huge amount of potential there. So I don't know if somebody's looking at investing. But yeah, so That, I'm so sorry about that alarm, guys. Like, nothing I can do about it. So, I don't know if it's a message for somebody. I just saw the seahorse, but we'll get something else. So, what's the advice, please? The advice for this reading? Parrot, watch your words, especially if you're going out drinking, right? Somebody else had that. And I won't show it because it's a spider. I know it creeps some people out, but there's a spider spirit. Make your dreams real. Watch your words. So this could be talking about manifestation. Be careful if you're going out drinking. Don't tell everybody all your business. They don't need to know. What are you trying to say? What are you saying to yourself? What message are you repeating? It could be something about being not good enough, right? Is it something that makes you feel good about yourself and reminds you of your strengths and potential? Parrots mimic the sounds around them, and when parrot spirit appears, it is time to be more mindful of your self-talk and its qualities. What do you say to others? Are you repeating what you truly believe? Oh my God, it ties in with that Pisces reading. Remember to speak with light and love, and remembering to speak with light and love can become a habit. Be generous with compliments and thanks, affirming all that is good, so that your loving, healing words will be heard throughout the jungle. Like loving, healing words, right? Cutting through the noise and inspiring others. Listen for the words that remind you of all the strengths, abundance, and joy in your life and in the world around you, and then repeat them, affirming what is real and true and nurturing to the soul. The universe will reflect back to you the story that you tell. Words matter, so choose ones that lift you up and inspire others to remember the beauty that surrounds us. So, like I say, there's nobody in this reading that I'm seeing as bad, right? This is not a toxic relationship. It's almost like, if you think about how Mars and Venus join together as this divine union, right? As this almost like yin and yang, like they are the lovers, right? They are the gods who are lovers, and they're strongly attracted to each other, and they balance each other out, right? Because that kind of masculine warlike god Mars and the beautiful nurturing healing energy of Venus coming together, they're naturally drawn to each other with this strong attraction. So it's mutually beneficial, right? It's symbiotic. So yeah, I feel like there's some resistance to this, perhaps because it's so, the attraction itself is so overwhelming, right? It's like such a magnetic pull that it's so overwhelming. But I really want to say that the Emperor in the upright is a good guy. This person, they're coming through with a lot of authority, you know, a lot of confidence. They are coming through a little bit bossy, Aries, you know. Yeah, listen, is it bossiness or is it efficiency? I don't know. But the Emperor in the upright is a really good guy, right? They are the Superman. You know, they're looking after everybody else. They've got decisions to make. They're just a little bit efficient. Sometimes they can be a little bit sharp. But it's because they're not wasting time, right? That Venus energy that's coming through with the High Priestess, the Queen of Water, this very spiritual, loving, it's like there's so much love there, right? They're coming in with just, it's almost like their water is signified by, their energy is signified by water, right? And water is emotions. Like, if you feel like you've been in a dry, emotionless environment, they are submerged in emotions. Their natural realm is emotions, right? They are the queen of emotions, and they use them. Their emotions are their source of power. So very, very comfortable with it. But again, if they're coming to you with it's like an emotional wave, right? I'm seeing 3113, so watch out for mirror numbers. Yeah, it could be, their energy could be incredibly overwhelming if you're not used to dealing with it, right? If you're not used to feeling your own emotions, and they feel their emotions so confidently and plainly and powerfully, it could feel overwhelming. But again, it's what you need. It's what you need, because look at this. Look at these, right? Look at how uncomfortable these fire cards are. Like, being in that environment for a long time, you need the glass of water. You know, you've been deprived of it. How can you grow if you don't have the love? If love is missing, because the Eight of Water talks about something missing from your environment. So if you're in an environment, and it could be, I don't know, your home life, your marriage, your workplace, you know, and any number of things. What the environment is, if you know, all this guy has to drink is salt water, right? So it's like all the emotions here are salty. So where's, it just feels like it's coming back in. All right, I hope this was helpful to you. And it's, again, it's saying, watch your words. How do you speak to yourself? Do you speak to yourself? Do you see yourself like this? Or do you see yourself like this? Like, how, talk about yourself like you're the person who, you're the highest not that you're not yourself, right? But you're the highest vibrational version of yourself. Like yourself on, yourself on fire, right? Yourself in gold mode. Be kind to yourself, right? And it could even be, if this is not two people coming together, it could be tap into that inner high priestess, right? Tap into that feminine energy within that is so confident about everything she feels, right? So, like, so as one, like she is her emotions. Like, tap into that inner sisterhood of the rose, which is within us all, right? And bring it out of yourself, bring those emotions up and allow them to flow. It's like, it's funny because it's like choices and their consequences, but it's like there's no consequences here. It's like this, the universe knows that you need this. I don't know. Take it if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. There'll be more songs in the description box down below that you can go and check out, which may give you more information, but that's it for this reading here today. Very, very powerful energy. Do take care of yourselves. I will see you again soon. Bye, friends.